Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Feel It to Heal It podcast. Woo! All right, let me press play on the Instagram land. Today, we are going to do a short and sweet episode on simplifying the healing process. All right, let's hop on. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Tea Live. Cheers. So today we are going to be talking about simplifying the healing process. So grab your journal, grab some tea, grab a cozy blanket or a robe. Your girl is fighting off a cold right now because I did not get enough sleep. So we are showing up as we are. So I wanted to talk about simplifying the healing process because I think part of the frustration that so many of us experience on a healing journey is feeling like it has to take forever, feeling like it has to be this big, complicated process, feeling like we go to a million different doctors, healers, practitioners, and we're told a million different things. So then we're like, well, what is the actual right thing and what do we do? And as someone who has experienced both medical trauma, emotional trauma, relationship trauma, all the things. My whole life was spent really in the state of trying to figure it out, like trying to figure out, okay, well, this doctor told me this and this doctor told me that. And how do we just simplify it? And so when I found this work with my mentor, it really helped illuminate how we are all so disconnected from the actual root of the healing. And we get so caught up on the symptoms, on the band-aid solutions, on the quick fixes, the quick solutions. And the thing is that the quickest solution is to stop putting band-aids on the wound and actually allow the wound to heal. So even though that takes time and that's quicker than just, oh, let me take a shot or a hit or a temporary distraction to feel soothed, even though actually getting to the root does take longer, it does save you so much time and energy and money in the long run. And that's part of, being an adult is consequential thinking is actually not just going for the short temporary fix just because we don't want to deal with the thing anymore, and actually allowing ourselves to take the time to truly tend to our bodies and what they're trying to communicate to us and take care of ourselves so that we don't have to keep running in circles trying to figure out why we're having all these symptoms. So the thing is when clients come to me, they come to me with an array of symptoms and they're like, how in the world are we going to heal this whole laundry list of symptoms? And I tell them very simply, when you heal one of those symptoms, we actually help heal all of those symptoms because they are all connected. They are all connected. So if someone comes to me and they're like, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have IBS, I have acne, I have trouble sleeping, I get triggered easily by my partner and have anxious attachment, I have gut issues, I have digestive issues, I have all or nothing, black or white thinking, I have ruminating thoughts, I have obsessing, I have control issues, I have perfectionism issues, I have comparison issues. Like the list goes on and on. I have an addiction to TV, to porn, to dating, to sex, to drugs, to whatever it might be. They are all related. Like I can't stress this enough. We are a whole human being. So we can't heal in isolation when all of these parts that are asking for attention are related, are connected. So this is what happens, especially in our society, is, Western medicine has a different purpose. Western medicine is to keep us alive. It is for more acute issues like I, break a finger, I have to go to the ER. I already have, stage 4 cancer, I might need to go for some treatment, right? Like we go to Western medicine for these things that are more chronic, and then we're confused when we're being told to, be put on more medicine, and then the medicine has side effects, and then we go to a different doctor and they say something else. Holistic medicine, Chinese medicine, is much more for chronic issues, and Western medicine is really for more acute issues. And so when we then go to all these Western doctors, which is what I used to do for these chronic issues, they would like tell me all these things, and it ended up being worse. I ended up getting treated for Lyme's disease 3 times, all for them to tell me they don't even know if I had Lyme's disease. The thing in common is that our body is trying to communicate to us, and if we ignore one symptom, it's going to come up with another symptom, right? So something like when I was sick as a baby, that was needing medical, like Western medicine, right? But if you're feeling, excuse me, if you're feeling anxious or depressed, and you go to a psychiatrist and you're like, give me some pills to feel better. Well, those pills will then, maybe help temporarily because they'll help you function, or they'll help numb out some, really intense fear. But that's the whole thing, is it's a temporary solution. Gabor Mate says it beautifully. Medicine should be a beginning of a healing journey, not an end. But what we do is we take the pill, it numbs us out, and then we just live numb because that's better than feeling the feelings. But in reality, if we want to live a full life, we have to learn how to feel our feelings. So all of the symptoms have the same root, which is unprocessed pain and trauma in the nervous system and a dysregulated nervous system and an inner child who is needing your attention. And the longer that we prolong looking at what our body is trying to communicate, the longer we prolong these symptoms. And then we grow up as adults and we're like, why do we have all these symptoms? Now, I used to have all the symptoms. I had symptoms of Lyme's disease. I had symptoms of lupus. I had a mysterious rash that no one could figure out for 8 months in college. Literally, no one could figure it out. They called me a medical mystery. They wanted to study me at Harvard. And I said, are you going to pay me or use me to help other people? And they were like, no, we're just going to look at you. I'm like, yeah, no, thanks. And I had anxiety. I had severe fear of abandonment. I had BPD symptoms that weren't even diagnosed. I had severe anxious attachment. I was sick all the time. Like now when I get sick, it's like this, where I'm like, okay, I need to catch up on sleep, and I get a little run down. But like before, when I would get sick, I would get high fevers. I would be knocked out for a week. Now I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of a sore throat. I know that I just need extra rest, so I'll probably get in bed after this. And it just, like, none of those symptoms really exist anymore. Like, yes, sometimes fear will come up, and now I know how to be with the fear. Sometimes my anxious attachment will get triggered, and now I know what that is, and I can move through it, and it doesn't get triggered nearly as often. I haven't had like autoimmune issues since doing this work. Like, healing my nervous system and getting it out of survival mode. And how did I do that? Through relational healing. What is relational healing? An example of it is when you have glasses on and everything's blurry, and you take the glasses off and you wipe the lenses and everything's clearer. You can see all the ways in which you've been relating to yourself and others, because we are relational creatures. We are attachment-based creatures. You can see how you've been relating from a place of your inner child trying to get emotional needs met that were not met in childhood. And when you see that, relational healing, meaning me and my client in a safe relational container together where I'm talking to them and guiding them every day, not just once a week, I am that safe, grounded nervous system that their nervous system can then attune to. So they're like anchored to, and I become their anchor until they're able to learn how to become their own anchor of safety. So instead of going to TV or movies or food or any of these things, like I recently have moved through an intense period of fear where I have fully released my addictive behaviors on a whole other level. Like, I no longer have to binge TV or movies to feel safe. I no longer have to binge food to feel soothed or comforted or distracted. I no longer need to like scroll mindlessly. Like, I feel safe in my body. And this past weekend, when I went to a concert and I did shrooms, I had fear of heights come up because we were really high up. And usually when I'm sober, the high up, I'm like, okay, I don't love this, but I'm okay. But with the shrooms, it really made it. So I was like, oh my God, I feel so like high up and ungrounded. And it was scary. And I just had to breathe and tend to my inner child. And like I noticed that I definitely could have asked for more co-regulation from the friends I was with, but it was such a moment of reflection of how my inner child never felt safe to just own my feelings. Like, hey, I need support, or hey, I'm feeling scared. And I could have done that. And my friend would have been like, oh, like I'm here with you and give me a hug. And I probably would have helped. But there's been this thing where my inner child feels like she just has to like hide her feelings, right? And so it's like having moments like that where you can just reflect and be like, wow, like no wonder I feel so alone in how I feel, because I don't let anyone support me in it because I feel like I have to have it all together, be Miss Hyper Independent. It's like, no, you don't. So the root of all of these symptoms is processing the stored pain in your body. So how do we do that? I sit with you, you tell me what's going on. I got triggered by my partner, I'm feeling anxious. I get you in your body. Where do you feel that in your body? And we actually spend time feeling the emotion in your body. Now, your nervous system can't do this alone because it is designed to protect you against the very pain that I'm asking it to feel. And so it needs me, the safe grounded nervous system, to mirror, oh, this fear that's coming up, it does not mean you're unsafe. It actually just means that it's historical pain from childhood that your body is learning how to feel safe to feel. And so we spend a lot of time getting into your body, feeling the pain, and then we tie it back to childhood. So how familiar is it to feel alone in your feelings? How familiar is it for me to not own how I feel or ask for support? Very. What does that bring up from childhood? And then we connect the mind and the body, the memories that is stored in your body. So many people tell me, well, Rachel, I don't remember my childhood. I can't process it. You don't need to remember it. Your body remembers it. If you guys know that book, The Body Keeps the Score, your body remembers it. You don't need to cognitively remember it. And if you don't remember your childhood, that is a very good sign that there is a lot of stored trauma that needs to be processed, because the mind forgets, quote unquote, forgets as a protective mechanism. Because again, the nervous system is designed to prevent pain. We have to show it through titrating the experience and me being there with you, holding you in the pain, that it is safe to feel pain. Because if not, you will spend the rest of your life continuing to avoid pain, run away from pain, distract from pain. And we can't avoid pain. Life is painful. And it doesn't have to be this awful big thing. Pain can actually create such beauty in our lives. The whole reason I'm sitting here with you today is because of pain, because I alchemized it rather than allowing it to take over. Pain is always better than suffering. Suffering is an avoidance of pain. So regardless of how many items are on your laundry list of symptoms you want to heal, when we actually process that pain, and it helps rewire the nervous system out of survival mode by relating differently. Okay, normally I would run away from my pain and drink. This time I'm actually taking 3 to 5 deep breaths and co-regulating with you. That is relating differently. We do that enough times, that repetition rewires the nervous system from the old way of safety to the new way of safety. You do this with any other thing that you want to relate differently around, and you, my friend, have now built internal safety where your body feels safe to be with all things that can come up. And when it feels safe to be with emotions that come up and our attachment wounding that gets triggered in our relationships, feeling invalidated, not making eye contact, feeling ignored, not feeling chosen, not feeling worthy, the list goes on and on. We then get to relate to those triggers in a new way and tend to the younger part of ourselves and experience relational healing, both in the relationship with me and the relationships in your lives. Like when you do this work, you get to relate differently to other people in your life. And it is just the biggest gift because it helps them relate differently. The strongest energy leads. So your energy of doing this work, of having more consciousness, you get to then relate to others in just a more effective way, in a more powerful, authentic way. So many of us have never felt safe, if not all of us have never felt safe to be our most authentic selves. We get small. We don't use our voice. We apologize just for existing. Like the amount of times I see people in the street and they get nearly close. Oh, sorry. It's like, why are you? Or This lady who was at Staples getting something printed, she was ahead of me. She turns around and she said, sorry, because I guess she thought she was taking too long. Wasn't even her fault. They were low staffed, you know? And I'm like, why are you sorry? Right? It's like the amount of times that our inner child comes out in the day-to-day moments. Like when we start releasing that pain and we start reparenting your inner child and we start having that reparative experience from childhood, you no longer even have the same anxious thoughts. Thoughts are created from emotion, not the other way around. I used to be a CBT therapist, so I would teach people, well, if you think differently, you feel differently. No, if you process your emotion, you will not create the same thoughts. Thoughts are created from emotions. So you can change your thoughts all day long, but if you're not actually tending to the emotion underneath those thoughts, then those same thoughts are going to come back. So because I process so much of my pain out of my body, I no longer have those same anxious thoughts. And when I do, then I know that that's a sign that I need to get into my body and feel some fear that's coming up. Your body is always communicating to you. You can take the quick fix, you can do the drug, you can avoid it, you can ignore it, but then it's going to come back louder and louder and louder and louder. And this is what kills people, literally, is their addictions, their unprocessed pain that turns into illness. There is so much research on this. Gabor Mate's the book of the Myth of Normal book, the Body Says No book. He explains all of this far better than I ever could in terms of the medical stuff. So please educate yourself. Your body doesn't just come up with symptoms for no reason. We're not born with anxiety. We're not born with depression. We're not born with painful periods. None of that is normal. Those are things that we've normalized in our society, but they're not normal. We're not supposed to feel that way. We're supposed to feel all the human emotions: fear, sadness, shame, joy, anger. We're supposed to learn how to feel safe to feel our feelings. That is what is normal. It's normal to feel fear. It's normal to feel sadness. It's normal to feel joy. It's normal to feel anger. It's normal to feel shame. Those are beautiful, beautiful, powerful emotions. We don't want to keep numbing them, but it is not normal to be in survival mode when we don't need to be in survival mode. There are people in this moment right now that actually need to be in survival mode. They're fighting for their lives. Now, why they're doing that? Because we've created a system and a society that has, I was going to say function, but not even function, has profited off of keeping this world traumatized, addicted, and in survival mode because it keeps us needing those quick fixes. So the most powerful rebellious thing you can do in creating a new earth is to stop reaching for the quick fixes and do the deeper healing work. And if you are ready to do this, I have one-on-one spots open where we will get deep to your childhood trauma. We will listen to what your body is communicating. We will help you release so much of that stored trauma and pain in your body. We cannot talk it out of us. We have to feel it to heal it. Hence the name of this podcast. And you will walk away feeling lighter, more grounded, more connected to yourself and others, more safe in your body. When you feel safe in your body, you feel safe to do the big, scary things that you want to do in life. Like I'm writing a book right now. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to just feel present with your kids and your family. And that's beautiful in and of itself, right? We can't feel present if we're running away from a bear in survival mode. And the wildest part about clearing those lenses and seeing things clearly is that we realize there is never a bear chasing us, but your body is acting like there is. And we can shift that. It is time to stop running from the imaginary bear and get your nervous system into what's called ventral: safety, connection, home, joy, love, because you have so much beautiful life to live. And this world needs more humans in their ventral system who are grounded, who are connected to themselves. We live in such a disconnected world, and this is what creates wars and violence and hate and depression and anxiety and sickness. Like, we don't have to normalize this shit anymore. If you experience it, you're not alone. It makes sense why you do, given the world that we live in, but that doesn't have to be your norm anymore. So you have to look at, where are you not believing there's another way? Where are you attaching onto your symptoms because they help little you get her needs met? I used to get sick a lot to get my needs met. The old me would have canceled this morning tea and posted a picture of me sick in bed and be like, wah, wah, I'm sick. And I would have wanted all the attention. Now I'm like, no, please do not even acknowledge that I'm sick, because that gives little me attention that I don't want anymore. I don't need that attention anymore. I don't, because I got me now, right? So look at the ways in which you're using those symptoms to get attention, to get emotional needs met, and have such compassion with yourself that there's just a terrified inner child who really needs your attention. She needs your attention. She doesn't need everyone else's attention. And that's the beautiful thing about relational healing is I can give you that attention so you don't grasp onto it from everyone else who actually can't give it to you. So if you are ready, DM me to apply for one-on-one. I also have my membership, Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, where I do weekly live trainings that go into far more depth than I could go on a live or a podcast depth. And you get private community, private Q&As, you get trainings that are customized to exactly what you're needing support on. It is just the best place. So I love you guys so much. Keep it simple. Notice when you're overthinking things, get in your body, breathe. When you notice rumination, overthinking, obsessing, fantasizing, take 3 to 5 deep breaths instead. Let go, trust, breathe. Everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. You get to create your life. You get to create how you want to feel. And it requires you to do some not so fun work to then get to the other side. And it is so worth it. I promise you. I would not want to guide you there if it wasn't a great place to be. A place where you feel fully free and safe in your body and fully free and able to be with all things that come up in life. The more that you feel your pain, the more that you can feel joy and all the other emotions that you actually want to feel. But we can't avoid anymore. It is not serving you. All right. Love you guys. Stop overcomplicating it. It is all related. Simplify, simplify, simplify. That's why I aim to be a one-stop shop. You come to me, we process the pain. You're not going to need to run around to a million different people. Let me save you time, energy, and money. All right. Love you. Mwah.